So there is an image that I keep seeing pop up on social media that is one of the most polarizing topics I have ever discussed with people. And it's about the proper use of a median and how to turn across a median. And you've probably seen the diagram. I'll go ahead, I'll throw it up here real quick so you can see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it. And the basic idea of the diagram is that you've got two cars in the median, both making left turns. And what it says is to drive past the other car and keep the other car in the median to the driver's side of your car so that you can see oncoming traffic. And this topic is heavily debated, with some people saying, yes, I was taught this way, this is the only way to do it, everyone else is a moron. And then the other people saying, oh my God, what is wrong with you? All you're doing is blocking traffic for everyone else. This is completely wrong. And here's the issue. So neither side is right. I did some research into this, and what I found is that some states, not every state as far as I could find, but I found several states, Colorado, Texas, I believe Vermont was another one, that actually have a rule regarding use of a median and left turns. And what those state, if you're making a left turn in a median, you keep the driver's door of your vehicle close to the curb and you pass the other vehicle on the passenger side. So you stay left and you do not cross each other in the intersection. This is not what the diagram shows. And people are up in arms about this, saying it's stupid and crazy, and I agree, sometimes it is. However, what I've noticed is it does seem to be almost a regional thing. So I grew up in the South in Georgia, and I've driven in Alabama and Georgia and other surrounding states. And I was never taught this whenever I was when I was driving. So I've been kind of looking into it, saying, okay, have I been doing this wrong? Because I keep my left side of my vehicle toward the curb, and I do not cross the other vehicles in the median. And I think it's pretty simple to illustrate that this isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. So some medians make sense using them in the way the diagram shows. Some do not. And in my area in Alabama, a lot of the intersections do not suit the diagram. And the reason is there's a turn lane. When you start getting into the details of the diagram, you'll notice a few things. For one, there's only one vehicle going each way in the median. Around here, that never happens. There's always 3 or 4 people queued up to go across. And that creates an issue. And people will say, oh, they don't need to be there, only one person in the intersection at a time. And according to the specific diagram, they are correct. However, if you add turn lanes to the diagram, and I'll go ahead and do that here and show you what I'm talking about, you then have people with right-of-way turning both directions. And if you're crossing each other in traffic, you're introducing a chance for a collision. And that's the reason this diagram does not work in those situations. So it all comes down to details. So if there's a turn lane, absolutely keep yourself over to the left and go whenever you can, and pull up to let the other people see around you. That's the only way to do it. Yes, it blocks visibility. Yes, it sucks. But here's the thing. According to the diagram as it's drawn, if there's more than one vehicle waiting, those other vehicles waiting to turn through that median are still going to block visibility for the person who did drive around the other vehicle. Like this, you still can't see, so you're not solving anything there if there are multiple vehicles, and that's where this really kind of all goes down the drain, and it doesn't work as some people like to think it does.
So one other consideration is the width of the median. There is a rule in place, and I'll put a link down in the description. If the median is wider than 30 foot, it's going to have a yellow line in the middle. And when there's a yellow line down the center of the median, dividing the median into 2 effective lanes, you do cross traffic and go into the far lane. However, the diagram that we're discussing that's posted on social media everywhere does not include this section. So it is a narrow median. And according to the resource that I'm going to put down in the description from Texas Department of Transportation, you do not cross paths. You keep the left side of your vehicle toward the curb, as I was discussing.
There are actually a couple of intersections around here that are crossing medians that I kind of want to drive through and show you what I'm talking about. So here we are about to come up on median crossing example 1, where I believe that crossing the median or crossing to the other side does make sense. And I will point out there's no road on this side, and I am turning onto another divided road. Therefore, my road to turn is over here. So I will cross over the center, and this is the logical way to take this turn. I'm not blocking anyone. It gives me the best view, and it gives me a direct line to the road that I'm turning onto. So that median crossing does actually match what's in the diagram that everyone is sharing. But those medians, and honestly, around here are few and far between. Most of the medians have turn lanes and are set up like example 2 that I'll show you in just a moment. So we are now approaching median example 2. And as you can see, there are turn lanes on both sides. There are roads on both sides. And people waiting in the intersection for you. So here's the thing. If I were not on this side of the intersection, anyone coming that way would be crossing in front of me. So if we both decided it was our turn to go, we would run into each other. And that's even if you stay back and leave that turning lane clear, someone is still going to be crossing someone else, and you are not in communication. If you're sitting in that turning lane, you're not looking at what's behind you. You don't know if the road's clear. You don't know if the person that's looking to turn the opposite direction is about to go and cut in front of you. And if you pull up further, you're blocking people that have the right-of-way. And if you're far enough back to where you're not blocking right-of-way, again, there's a chance of a collision. Plus, those cars waiting in the turn lane are going to be blocking your vision anyway, so you're gaining nothing by that position. So in that case, you keep the left side of your vehicle toward the curb and you do not cross in the intersection. And sort of in summary, the way that I treat these intersections is, if there was a red light here, you wouldn't cross traffic and turn. You would keep to the left and you would pass each other on the passenger side like you do at any intersection. But people seem to think because it's a median, the rules change. And while it does make sense in some scenarios, you can't have a ton of traffic laws that are scenario based. You can't say, oh, if this, then this, but if this, then this. Oh, wait, but if this, then this. That's when things get confusing. So that's the reason these laws are on the books in some states. If you've got one rule, you always stay to the left. You don't have to remember all the specific rules for specific types of medians and crossing and things. So that's the reason that it's important. I know people are going to disagree with me. I know you're going to have a ball with the comment section here. Please do tell me, explain to me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why it makes more sense, aside from you can see better when there's only one vehicle waiting to turn, because that's a very limited instance and a very narrow use of that turn section. So I'm open to it. Go ahead and tell me what you think and tell me why I'm wrong, or tell me why I'm right. Agree with me. So I have been SalvageSV, and I will see you next time.